There is something that not many booktubers talk about, and this is how great of an adaptation Amazon's Reacher was. You see, Reacher was based on the Lit Child novels featuring Jack Reacher. They're action mystery thrillers, I guess. It's basically what if Rambo was a Sherlock Holmes-like detective and he was going around the US solving cases. And Reacher Season 1 was an adaptation of the first book in the series, Killing Floor, and it was great. In my opinion, the casting was fantastic. The way they restructured parts of the novel, how they made the main character more human, because the literary Reacher, he often comes off as in the spectrum, and that's a headcanon for many people, including me. And he's very logical and almost inhuman and superhuman, even. I mean, in the original book, he one punch kills people, and on the TV show, he actually takes some blows during the fight scenes, and that makes quite a difference. So, after watching the mostly faithful but better adaptation of Amazon Season 1, I learned that there's a Season 2 in the works, and I was curious which book are they going to do next. In my opinion, Die Trying, the second book in the Reacher series, is kind of weak. To me, it was the first Reacher book I've read, and to me it felt like that Lee Child took an older manuscript of his after Killing Floor was successful and just crammed Zack Reacher into it. To get an idea, I felt like it was what if you take a Bruce Willis movie from the early 90s and somebody calls the screenwriter and they tell him, yeah, we start production in 3 days, but we have a slight problem. Instead of Bruce Willis, we hired Steven Seagal, so you have to change the script for that. And it feels like you have a super capable person like Zack Reacher, who is in a situation that he must not be superhuman and actually follow the plot. And that felt very bad. And trust me, I wanted to see them try to do Die Trying because, yeah, it wasn't a great book. However, they could maybe pull something out of it. And I was curious, but they did not. Of course, I thought maybe they'll go for Tripwire because Tripwire is one of those rare Zack Reacher books where there is a memorable villain. But then they just go out and they announce that they're doing Bad Luck and Trouble, which is book 11 in the series. Now, most Reacher books are standalone, and even if you find some minor continuity issues between them, because there are some of them, you can read them on their own. I mean, the main appeal of those books is that you can pick one on Friday evening without noticing what part of the series it is, and read it by Monday and enjoy it. That's something that the Lee Child is very good at. And I was curious, what is this Bad Luck and Trouble about? And it starts with somebody being thrown out of a helicopter in the middle of the desert in Nevada or California, not sure. No, it's California desert. And it turns out he was a friend of Reacher from the military. So Reacher has to assemble his team, his former team, and find out what happened. I was 50 pages into the book. Yes, I read this in translation, and I instantly knew why this book became a TV show because it got so much material to do a TV show. The main concept is that yes, Reacher has to reconnect with a lot of people from his early days, his team of investigators, and you don't screw with investigators, that's their motto, and find out why one of them was killed and maybe others are in the cross lines. So we have some characters that we've seen in previous books like Nigley. Francis Nigley is a recurring support character, I guess. She first appeared in the not that great Without Fail, and that's actually an interesting book to read because it humanizes Reacher, come to think of it. She is reintroduced here, so I want to see how they'll do it in the show. Along with other characters, I believe that there's another character from probably The Enemy, but I haven't read that book yet. And other characters from Jack Reacher's past coming into his life again and solving the case together. And overall, I think it's a great action thriller slash whodunit because there is a lot of plot threads coming together, a lot of character interactions and character dynamics that can be explored in a TV show, I guess introducing Nigley early is a good idea because they can always do a Nigley spin-off if they want to, or just have her as a supporting character in every next book. She's more richer than Richer, come to think of it. She's like, what if Richer, instead of a drifter, became a corporate security expert? And she's far colder and far deadlier than Richer, so that's interesting. And there are a lot of plot threads and a lot of mystery and a lot of investigating into the lives of people who took a different path from what Richard chose to do in his life. So it's a bit of character development as well. In the book, of course, the series is not out yet, but I'll be watching it. So yeah, there is enough material to have a good show out of it, and also it is an interesting book. I mean, I guess there will be an episode that you will watch and you'll think, oh, that's filler. Because at some point in the book, and I wasn't knowing there, it wasn't off the point. There are two things that annoy me in this book. And number one is that our genius investigators overlook something very important at some point, and they go on a detour that mostly passes the plot. It's a show don't tell moment because it shows certain things about the people from the military days of Richer and where they are right now and how their lives are. I guess it gives some extra plot points. But yeah, it's like you can see that they're obviously missing a clue and going on a tangent that takes some pages too long, and probably it will take an episode in the show. So yeah, tough luck with that. And the other thing that annoyed me a lot, and I hope they will fix on the show, is that as the mystery starts to unravel and you see where everything is going, it goes towards high stakes and maybe an epic finale. And we don't get that. We get a very anticlimactic ending, in my opinion. Instead of the detour, go and deal with the main baddies and then go after another threat that is building up and building up, and maybe try to get there in the nick of time, ticking clocks. You'll know when, if you read the book, or if they remain faithful to the book, I guess, in the show, but I would like them to go that extra mile and add an extra episode after the book climax for that other plot thread that gets resolved very anticlimactically. But yeah, overall, I think this book, Bad Luck and Trouble, is a fun read if you like action adventures and mystery thrillers and all the kind of what I used to call trashy romance for men. It's a prime example of, let's say, trashy book, a genre book, being everything that it should be, and also being more than that. And that's Lee Child in a nutshell. He's writing dumb books that respect your intelligence. And that's something I like about him. And he's got a very memorable hero, this former marshal who is a drifter, and also he is a sort of John Wayne character coming into town and restoring justice his own special way. But now you have a whole group of Richers together, joining forces and maybe reconciling their differences. There is something about military fiction. It's about comradeship porn, I guess, and there's plenty of that, and that is mostly missing in the other Richer books, because he occasionally meets other former military people or military people, and they respect each other sometimes, but here we have a whole group of people who fought together, who handed deadly criminals together as marshals. There's a lot of respect, a lot of regret, a lot of choices taken or not taken. There's a lot of that, and I think the show can be awesome. But we'll see. It's coming out December 15, and yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching this, guys, and I hope you do. And you have enough time to get the book and read it. I mean, it's 2 or 3 days of reading. It's a breezy read, not too long, and the pace is very good, and you want to follow. So, leave your comments below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching.